The envelope tore open with a savage rip that sliced through the Dolby Theater's electric hush. And Aiden Harper's name exploded from the announcer's lips like a grenade in a confetti storm. But as the roar of applause crashed over him, 2,000 Hollywood elites on their feet, diamonds and egos glittering under the chandeliers, Aiden's gaze snagged on Benjamin Ruiz in the front row, the man who'd whispered, "I love you," into his ear every dawn for 5 stolen years, now rising with a face twisted in raw betrayal, his brown eyes screaming a silent "How could you?" in that heartbeat. As confetti rained like ash from a burning empire, Aiden knew the lie they'd both armored themselves in was unraveling live on global broadcast, and the Oscar in his future grasp felt less like triumph than a noose tightening around his throat. Aiden Harper had always been a chameleon, slipping into roles like a second skin. Born in the dusty sprawl of Bakersfield, California, he'd clawed his way from community theater callbacks to the silver screen's unforgiving glare, his all-American boy-next-door charm masking the quiet storm raging inside. By 32, he'd headlined blockbusters that grossed billions, dated a parade of starlets engineered by publicists, and built a fortress of denial so high it blocked out the California sun. But denial had a price, and Aiden paid it in the currency of loneliness, until Benjamin Ruiz crashed into his life like a rogue wave off Malibu. It started on a muggy July evening in 2020, the kind of LA heat that turned the air into a sticky soup and made the palm trees droop like defeated soldiers. Aiden was shooting reshoots for Echoes of the Heart, a gritty indie drama about a war vet unraveling at home, a role that had already earned him a Golden Globe nod and whispers of Oscar bait. The set was a rundown bungalow in Echo Park, transformed into a veteran's crumbling bungalow with fake bullet holes in the walls and dust bunnies the size of tumbleweeds. Aiden, sweat slicked in fatigues, was nailing a monologue about lost love when the director yelled cut for the umpteenth time. "Harper, you're phoning it in," barked Elena Vasquez, the director with a reputation for chewing scenery and egos alike. "This guy's heart is breaking. Give me guts, not gloss." Aiden nodded, wiping his brow, the weight of the day pressing like an invisible hand. He stepped off set for a smoke, old habit from his theater days, even though he'd quit twice, and that's when he saw him. Leaning against a production truck, nursing a thermos of what smelled like strong coffee laced with something stronger, was Benjamin Ruiz. Mid-20s, with skin the warm hue of sun-baked adobe, cropped black hair that curled defiantly at the edges, and eyes like polished obsidian that seemed to see straight through the bullshit. He wore a faded band tee Nirvana, ironic for a grip on a prestige flick, and cargo pants smeared with the day's grime. Benjamin wasn't an actor. He was the guy who made sure the lights didn't flicker and the cables didn't trip stars mid-stride. Invisible labor in a town that worshipped the visible. "You look like you need this more than me," Benjamin said, holding out the thermos without preamble. His voice was low, laced with that faint Texas drawl that hinted at roots in the Rio Grande Valley, a world away from Aiden's Central Valley farms. Aiden hesitated, glancing over his shoulder at the swarm of PAs buzzing like caffeinated bees. No one paid them mind. He took a swig bourbon, sharp and smoky, and felt the burn chase away the knot in his chest. "Thanks. Rough day. Directors got me chasing ghosts." Benjamin chuckled, a sound like gravel under tires, warm despite the edge. "Ghosts are easy. It's the living that fuck you up." He extended a calloused hand. "Ben Ruiz. Grip on this circus." Aiden Harper, as if he needed saying. Their palms met, rough against smooth, and something electric zipped up Aiden's arm. Not the scripted spark of a rom-com, but the real deal, The kind that made your pulse stutter and your secrets itch. They talked for an hour, the sun dipping low and painting the set in bruised purples and golds. Benjamin spun tales of hauling gear through Texas floods for low-budget westerns, of his abuela's tamales that could resurrect the dead, of ditching a business degree at UT Austin because numbers don't bleed like stories do. Aiden, for once, let the mask slip. He confessed the isolation of the spotlight, the way fame turned friends into fans and lovers into liabilities. It's like being the king of a castle made of glass. One crack, and it all shatters. Benjamin's gaze held steady, unflinching. Then build a better castle. Or burn it down and dance in the ashes. That night, after rap, Aiden found himself in a dive bar off Sunset, the kind with sticky floors and jukebox tunes that hadn't been hits since Clinton was president. Benjamin was there, nursing a Shiner Bock, and they fell into easy rhythm, pool cues clacking, laughter bubbling up unbidden. By last call, Aiden's hand brushed Benjamin's under the table, lingering a beat too long. No one noticed. Or if they did, LA's underbelly was too jaded to care. Their first kiss happened 2 weeks later, in the shadowed loading dock of the studio lot, rain sluicing down from a freak summer storm that turned the asphalt into a mirror of city lights. Aiden had snuck out after a late-night table read, heart hammering like a greenhorn on opening night. Benjamin was waiting, toolbox at his feet, soaked through but grinning like he'd won the lottery. "You shouldn't be here," Aiden murmured, even as he closed the distance, the scent of wet concrete and Benjamin's citrus cologne pulling him under. "Neither should you," Benjamin replied, cupping Aiden's jaw with hands that still smelled of cable grease. Their lips met tentative at first, then hungry, a collision of pent-up longing that tasted like freedom and folly. Aiden's world tilted. Kisses from starlets had always felt like choreography, precise and performative. This was chaos, raw and real, Benjamin's stubble scraping his skin like a promise of permanence. They tumbled into Benjamin's cramped apartment in Silver Lake that same night, a walk-up with peeling wallpaper and a view of the Hollywood sign flickering like a tease. Clothes shed in a frenzy, bodies mapping each other in the dim glow of a thrift store lamp. Aiden traced the tattoos snaking up Benjamin's arms, roses intertwined with barbed wire, a nod to his abuela's garden and the borders he'd crossed at 12 with his undocumented parents. Benjamin's touch was reverent, unhurried, drawing gasps from Aiden that echoed off the thin walls. "You're safe here," Benjamin whispered against his throat, and for the first time in years, Aiden believed it. But safety in Hollywood was a myth, fragile as a stand-in's contract. Aiden's agent, Marla Kensington, a shark in Louboutins who'd shepherded him from indie darling to A-lister, laid down the law over brunch at the Ivy the next week. "Darling, you're on the cusp of everything. That rom-com with Emma Stone? Locked. The superhero sequel? Greenlit. But rumors? They kill careers faster than bad Botox." Her eyes, sharp as switchblades, scanned him over her kale smoothie. "Keep it zipped. The world's not ready for a leading man who doesn't play straight." Aiden nodded, the omelet turning to lead in his gut. He thought of Benjamin's laugh, the way his fingers tangled in Aiden's hair during lazy Sundays binging The Wire. "It's just personal. Personal is PR poison," Marla snapped, her smile a veneer over venom. "Play the game, Aiden. Or watch it play you." So they played. Stolen weekends in Joshua Tree, where the desert winds whispered secrets to the stars. Weeknights in Benjamin's bed, Aiden slipping in through the back like a thief in his own life. They built a world in the margins. Picnics at Griffith Park with thermoses of Benjamin's Abuela's chamomile tea. Midnight drives along the Pacific Coast Highway with the windows down and Springsteen blasting. Benjamin grounded him, his quiet strength a ballast against the industry's tempests. "You're more than the marquee, Aid," he'd say, tracing lazy circles on Aiden's chest. "You're the guy who burns toast but kisses like it's poetry." Aiden fell hard, deeper than any roll. But love in the shadows bred shadows of its own. Benjamin's grip job on Echoes wrapped, and he bounced to a sci-fi gig in Atlanta. Their goodbyes stretched thin over FaceTime calls that crackled with static and unspoken fears. "This distance, it's temporary," Aiden promised, from a sterile hotel in Toronto, promoting a thriller that had him playing a CIA operative with a body count higher than his therapy bills. "Yeah," Benjamin replied, his smile not quite reaching his eyes. Like everything in this town, by fall, Aiden was nominated for an Emmy for his guest spot on Succession, a deliciously venomous turn as a tech bro with daddy issues. The after-party at Chateau Marmont was a blur of champagne flutes and air kisses from directors who smelled like opportunity and old money. Aiden scanned the crowd, nursing a club soda, when Marla materialized, arm in arm with a socialite named Lila Voss, blonde, bubbly, heir to a frozen yogurt empire. "Smile, sweetheart," Marla hissed, shoving Lila forward. "She's perfect. Wholesome. Photogenic. Date her." Aiden's stomach churned. Lila was sweet, in that sorority sister way, chattering about Pilates and her rescue pug. He played along, dinners at Nobu, red carpet debuts where flashes popped like gunfire. The tabloids ate it up. Aiden Harper's new muse? Benjamin saw the headlines. Of course. Their calls grew clipped, laced with barbs neither meant but both hurled. "You're living the dream." "Ha!" Benjamin said one night, voice tinny over the line from a rainy Georgia set. "It's work," Aiden shot back, guilt twisting like a knife. "You know that, do I? Or am I just the side hustle?" The line went dead before Aiden could beg. He drove to Silver Lake that dawn, pounding on Benjamin's door until it swung open. Benjamin shirtless and hollow-eyed, the apartment reeking of stale takeout and regret. "I'm sorry," Aiden choked, pulling him close. They made love on the living room floor, desperate and devouring, as if friction could fuse their fracturing world. "I love you. This us, it's real." Benjamin's breath hitched against his neck. "Real don't pay the bills, or keep the wolves at bay." They patched it, fragile as kintsugi pottery, but the cracks spiderwebbed. Aiden wrapped Echoes, the dailies raving, and suddenly award season loomed like a guillotine. Benjamin returned to L.A., landing steady work on a Netflix series, their rhythm resuming in fits and starts. Holidays blurred. Thanksgiving at Benjamin's sister's cramped Koreatown apartment, where tamales steamed and Tia jokes flew like confetti, Aiden passing as the college buddy with a practiced grin. Christmas in Big Sur, a rented cabin where they strung lights and made snow angels in the fog, whispering futures that felt perilously close. But 2021 brought the deluge. Echoes premiered at Sundance to standing ovations, Aiden's raw vulnerability earning comparisons to De Niro in Raging Bull. Offers flooded. A Marvel tentpole, a Scorsese drama, even a Broadway stint. Marla orchestrated the ascent, scripting every move, Lila as the steady girlfriend, charity galas with A-listers, a podcast where he opened up about vulnerability without ever naming the truth. Benjamin watched from the wings, his own career stalling in the grip department's brutal churn. "You're slipping away," he said one night, over lukewarm pizza in Aiden's sprawling Hollywood Hills manse, a sterile palace of glass and stone that echoed with emptiness. Aiden pulled him onto the couch, nuzzling his temple. "I'm right here. For how long?" Benjamin's voice cracked, the question a chasm. They argued then, words like shrapnel. Aiden's fear of erasure, Benjamin's ache for visibility. "I want to hold your hand at premieres, not hide in coat closets. And I want to give you everything," Aiden pleaded. "A house. Security. Not scraps. Love ain't scraps, Aiden. It's all or nothing." They clung through the storm, bodies entwined as rain lashed the windows, but the seed of doubt took root. By summer, Lila broke up with Aiden in a mutually agreed tabloid splash. A source close to the couple says timing just isn't right, paving the way for fresh arm candy. Benjamin proposed they go public, just to each other, a private vow under the oaks of Runyon Canyon. Aiden agreed, slipping a simple silver band onto Benjamin's finger, engraved with "always" in the margins. It was enough, for a while, until Oscar season dawned, and the margins closed in. The Oscar buzz hit like a freight train barreling through the canyons, derailing any illusion of normalcy Aiden and Benjamin had scraped together. Echoes of the Heart wasn't just a film, it was a phenomenon, critics hailing it as the gut punch America needed post-pandemic. Aiden's portrayal of fractured veteran Tommy, Riley earning him the Best Actor nod at the Academy Awards. Suddenly, every interview was a minefield, every red carpet a tightrope. Marla's war room in her Beverly Hills office overflowed with mood boards and media trainers, scripting Aiden's every syllable to perfection. "You're the golden boy," she declared, pinning a lapel cam to his jacket for a zoom with variety. "Lean into the relatable everyman vibe. Family values. Resilience. No cracks." Aiden nodded, but his mind wandered to Benjamin, holed up in Silver Lake, scrolling scripts for his next gig. Their mornings now started with coffee and quickies before Aiden's driver whisked him to fittings, but the evenings stretched long and lonely. Benjamin's texts grew sporadic, killed it on Kimmel. "Miss you. Punctuated by emojis that masked the strain. One crisp October afternoon, as golden leaves skittered across the studio lot for the Revenant's spiritual successor, a brooding Western Aiden was prepping. Aiden stole away to meet Benjamin at their spot, a nondescript food truck in Atwater Village slinging Sonoran hot dogs wrapped in bacon bliss. Benjamin arrived late, tool belt slung over his shoulder, his smile weary but genuine. "Nominations got you glowing, Hollywood," Benjamin teased, handing over a foil-wrapped dog loaded with mayo and jalapenos. They perched on a graffiti-scarred bench, the San Gabriel Mountains hazy in the distance, pretending for a moment they were just two guys on a lunch break. Aiden bit into the dog, savoring the spice. "It's surreal. Tommy's story, it's got teeth. Real ones." He paused, wiping mustard from his lip. "But it's stirring shit up. Reporters sniffing around my personal life. Marla's got me on lockdown." Benjamin's jaw tightened, his dark eyes flicking to the traffic humming past. "Lockdown. Like you're a criminal." He set his food down, untouched. "Aid, we gotta talk about the gala. The nominees thing next month." The governor's ball loomed, a glittering precursor to the Oscars where alliances formed over caviar and veiled barbs. Aiden had wrangled an invite for Benjamin as his +1 from the crew, a fiction thin as tissue. We'll go as friends. Keep it light. Light. Benjamin's laugh was bitter, echoing off the truck's metal siding. 5 years. And we're still friends? I'm tired of the charade. Man. Last week, your date, that influencer chick, posts a pic of you two at Spago. And I'm what? The ghost in the machine. Aiden's chest constricted. The date was Tessa Lang, a TikTok darling with 1 million followers and 0 depth, planted by Marla to quash rumors of Aiden's bachelor phase. It's fake. You know that. But it hurts real. Benjamin stood, pacing the cracked sidewalk. I see the way you light up on those screens, like you're finally free. But me, I'm the anchor dragging you down. You're not. Aiden grabbed his wrist, pulling him close, the food truck's sizzle masking their whispers. You're my North Star, Ben. Without you, it's all static. They kissed there, quick and fierce, tasting salt and regret. A car horn blared, jolting them apart, but the spark lingered, a defiant ember in the afternoon glare. Back home that night, Aiden pored over scripts in his home office, a minimalist cave of reclaimed wood and abstract prints, while Benjamin crashed on the couch, scrolling job boards. The ring on Benjamin's finger caught the lamplight, a quiet rebellion. Aiden wandered out, kneeling to massage Benjamin's feet, calloused from lugging coils through sound stages. Remember Austin? Aiden murmured, thumbs working a knot. That dive bar after the Grip Union mixer. You bet me I couldn't two-step without spilling my beer. Benjamin's eyes softened, a ghost of a smile. Lost $20 and your dignity. But damn, you moved like you meant it. I always mean it with you. Aiden crawled up, their foreheads touching, breaths mingling. They made love slowly on the rug, the city lights winking through floor-to-ceiling windows like conspirators. Benjamin's hands roamed Aiden's body like he was memorizing a map, whispers of Spanish endearments. Aiden's name tangled with mi vida, mi amor, that made his heart ache with tenderness. Postcoital haze brought confessions. Benjamin admitted the toll, watching Aiden's face on billboards, arm in arm with proxies, while he patched roofs for B-movies. I love you enough to let you fly, he said, tracing Aiden's collarbone. But not enough to clip your wings forever. Aiden swallowed hard. What if I crash without you? Then we'll burn together. Benjamin's kiss sealed it, fierce and final. The nominees' luncheon was a powder keg of polished pretense. The Beverly Hilton ballroom awash in Oscar hopefuls air-kissing like mobsters at a truce. Aiden arrived solo, per Marla's decree. Mystery man aura. Darling. Navigating clusters of actresses in power pastels and directors nursing grudges over craft services. He spotted Benjamin across the room, working as freelance tech for the event, adjusting a spotlight with quiet efficiency. Their eyes met, a current zipping through the chatter. Later, in a service corridor lined with humming vending machines, they collided, Benjamin backing Aiden against a wall, mouths crashing in a kiss that tasted of stolen time. You were brilliant up there, Benjamin growled, hands fisting Aiden's shirt. That soundbite about honoring the unseen felt personal. It was. Aiden's pulse thrummed. For you. But the idol shattered when Tessa Lang materialized at the afterdrinks. All glossy waves and engineered charm, looping her arm through Aiden's for the paps outside. Benjamin watched from the shadows, jaw clenched, as flashes immortalized the lie. That night, he didn't come home. Aiden found him at 3 a.m. on the Griffith Observatory steps, City sprawled below like a glittering trap. Benjamin's knees were drawn up, thermos empty beside him. "I can't do this anymore," he said flatly, voice raw from the chill. "It's eating us alive." Aiden sank down, the concrete biting through his slacks. "The Oscars are in February. After that, what? Another franchise? Another beard?" Benjamin's eyes glistened. "Not from the dew. I deserve more than footnotes." "We both do." They talked until dawn, words weaving a fragile truce. Survive award season, then go public. A quiet ceremony, maybe, in Palm Springs. Aiden's hand in Benjamin's at the next premiere. Hope flickered, tentative as first light. But Hollywood doesn't do truces. It does takedowns. Whispers started. A blind item on Dumois about A-list heartthrob's secret affair with set help. Marla dismissed it as tabloid trash. But her eyes narrowed, deploying a crisis team to scrub socials and plant diversions. Aiden doubled down, throwing himself into prep. Dialect coaches for his Western drawl. Therapy sessions reframed as method work to unpack Tommy's trauma, mirroring his own. Benjamin, meanwhile, landed a plum gig, gaffer on The Revenant's follow-up, shadowing Aiden on location in Utah's Red Rock Badlands. The isolation was a gift, tents pitched under star-choked skies, where they could steal moments in the crew RV, bodies slick with desert dust. One night, around a crackling fire pit, with the cast nursing beers and swapping war stories, Benjamin leaned into Aiden's side, casual as kin. No one blinked. For a heartbeat, felt possible. "You're glowing out here," Benjamin murmured later, in their shared trailer, the wind howling like a coyote chorus. "Like the rolls setting you free." Aiden traced the scar on Benjamin's knuckle, from a snapped cable years back. "It's you. Always has been." They made plans in whispers. Post-Oscar, a trip to Benjamin's family's ranch in South Texas. Tamales and tequila under the live oaks. Aiden even toyed with a coming-out essay for The Advocate. Words drafted on his phone during downtime. "I've hidden long enough. Love isn't a plot twist. It's the story." But betrayal brews in the best-laid schemes. Tessa Lang, jilted and ambitious, had been fishing for dirt, her breakup souring into spite. A leaked email chain surfaced on a gossip forum. Aiden's frantic texts to his assistant. "Keep Ben off the radar. Paps are circling." Tessa's reply, "Happy to help, but what's in it for me?" snowballed. A source tipped off TMZ about cozy crew hookups. Marla contained it, barely, paying off a stringer for silence. But the damage festered. Benjamin saw the items, his trust fracturing like parched earth. "You're protecting me?" he confronted Aiden one dusk, as the sun bled orange over Zion's monoliths. "Or your empire?" "Both," Aiden admitted, voice breaking. "I can't lose you." "Or this." Benjamin walked away, silhouette swallowed by canyons. Aiden chased, but the distance yawned. December brought the Golden Globes, a warm-up waltz where Aiden clinched Best Actor in a drama, his speech a masterclass in deflection. Thanks to the unsung heroes behind the lens, a nod to Benjamin that twisted like a knife. Backstage, they reunited in a broom closet, kisses frantic, apologies mumbled against skin. "Forgive me," Aiden begged. "Always do," Benjamin sighed, but his grip loosened, just a fraction. As January thawed into February, the Oscar machine revved to fever pitch. Fittings at Tom Ford, Media junkets in New York where Aiden charmed the New York Times with tales of authenticity. Benjamin shadowed as tech support. Their love a guerrilla operation, quick coffees in hotel lobbies, coded glances across press rooms. The night before the Oscars, they holed up in the chateau's penthouse suite, room service trays scattered like battlefield debris. Benjamin, in boxers and Aiden's robe, scrolled nominees on his phone. If you win tomorrow, when Aiden corrected, pulling him close. Benjamin smirked. Cocky. I like it, his expression sobered. Promise me, after this circus, we rewrite the script. No more hiding. Aiden sealed it with a kiss. The city lights a constellation of possibilities below. Cross my heart, but hearts lie, and scripts twist. Unbeknownst to them, Tessa's vendetta had allied with a rogue publicist from Marla's firm, hungry for a scoop to launch her own shop. A hidden camera, planted in Aiden's trailer during Utah Rap, captured a stolen embrace, grainy but damning. The footage sat dormant, a digital Trojan horse, waiting for the perfect moment to detonate. Oscar Eve faded into dawn, the Dolby Theater beckoning like a coliseum. Aiden and Benjamin parted with a lingering hug in the hotel garage. Benjamin's whisper, "Knock 'em dead. Star. A talisman against the storm." As Aiden's limo pulled away, he didn't see the shadow trailing, a fixer with a thumb drive, Tessa's smile in the rearview of her mind. The week before the Oscars felt like living in a pressure cooker, the steam hissing from every pore of LA's bloated ego. Aiden's schedule was a gauntlet. Morning runs along the Strand in Santa Monica to shake off the nerves, followed by endless schmoozes, lunches with Academy voters at Musso and Frank, where martinis flowed and anecdotes about that one time with Brando greased the wheels. Afternoons bled into evening rehearsals at the Dolby, Aiden pacing the stage in jeans and a tee, mouthing his potential speech until the words blurred into mantra. Benjamin played shadow operative, his grip work on a last-minute SAG Awards setup giving him cover to hover nearby. They'd snatch moments in the theater's bowels, green rooms with flickering fluorescence, where Aiden would press Benjamin against a prop wall, kisses tasting of mint gum and desperation. "This is it," Aiden murmured one afternoon, forehead to forehead, the echo of stagehands' hammers punctuating their breaths. "Win or lose, we're done hiding." Benjamin's thumb brushed Aiden's lip, callous rough against soft. "Win. For Tommy. For us." But doubt gnawed like termites in drywall. Marla's briefings grew sterner, her Botox-smooth forehead creasing for the first time in Aiden's memory. "The blinds are multiplying," she confided over encrypted email, forwarding screenshots of Reddit threads dissecting his queer-coded roles. "Is Harper playing gay to win woke points?" One posited, upvotes climbing like kudzu. Marla's fix, amp the hetero hero narrative. A surprise date with rising starlet Riley Kane for the Vanity Fair party. Riley, with her razor bob and rom-com pedigree, perfect camouflage. Aiden balked in her office, the scent of her Chanel No. 5 cloying. "Ben and we're going public post-win." Marla's laugh was a scalpel. "Post-win? Darling, there might not be a post if this blows. One whiff of scandal, and voters bolt. Play nice till the fat lady sings." He relented, the old reflex kicking in. That night, at the Beverly Hills Hotel's Polo Lounge, Riley draped herself over him for the lenses, her giggle tinkling like wind chimes in a hurricane. Benjamin waited in the valet line, engine idling in his beat-up Tacoma, Jaw set when Aiden slid into the passenger seat reeking of her perfume. Riley says hi, Aiden quipped, aiming for levity. Benjamin's grip whitened on the wheel. Tell her to keep her claws off my man. The words hung heavy, laced with hurt. They drove in silence to Silver Lake, the radio murmuring Adele's heartbreak anthems, until Benjamin pulled over at Echo Park Lake, the swans gliding like indifferent spectators. I saw the pics, he said, killing the engine. You looked cozy. Aiden reached for his hand. It's smoke. You know the drill. Benjamin pulled away, staring at the water's inky ripple. Drills where grooves. Deep ones. He turned. Ice stormy. Remember why we started this? Not for the glamour, for the truth. Aiden's throat tightened. Truth gets you cancelled. Look at what happened to Ellis Grant last year, came out. Lost the franchise gig overnight. And, Benjamin challenged, voice rising. He got a Tony. A husband. Life, he softened, cupping Aiden's face. I don't want a ghost at the altar. They reconciled under the willows. Aiden's head in Benjamin's lap as lotus pods bobbed nearby. Promises renewed like vows. After the speech, Aiden whispered. I'll say it. All of it. Benjamin's fingers carded through his hair. I'll be there. Front row. The Vanity Fair bash was a fever dream of excess. The Wallace Annenberg Center pulsing with bass-heavy remixes. A-listers in custom Versace swirling like sharks in chum. Aiden arrived on Riley's arm, the paps devouring the couple with frenzy. But his eyes sought Benjamin across the velvet ropes, chic in a borrowed blazer, charming a cluster of indie producers with grip war stories. Their gazes locked through the throng, a lifeline in the chaos. Midnight found them in a powder room alcove, Riley distracted by a producer's yacht invite. Benjamin backed Aiden against the marble vanity. Tiaskew, mouths fusing in a kiss that bruised. You clean up dangerous, Benjamin growled, hands roaming south. Aiden gasped, nipping his earlobe. Stop, or we'll scandalize the sinks. Let 'em talk. But Benjamin relented, straightening Aiden's collar with a possessive tug. Go play Prince. I'll be your pauper in the wings. Aiden floated through the night on that high, schmoozing Scorsese over sliders, dodging Weinstein-adjacent whispers. But as dawn crept, hangover looming, a notification pinged. Blind item. Nominees crew fling. Is it more? Grainy photo attached. A blurry shot from Utah. Aiden's hand on Benjamin's waist in the trailer doorway. Heart slamming. Aiden bolted to the limo, texting Benjamin, we need to talk. Now. They met at Runyon, the trail's empty save for coyotes slinking home. Benjamin arrived breathless, phone clutched like a grenade. It's out. Not full frontal, but close. Aiden paced the dirt path, scrub brush clawing at his slacks. Marla's on it. Deny. Deflect. Deny us. Benjamin's voice cracked like thunder. After everything? It's survival, Aiden pleaded, grabbing his arms. One more night. Then freedom. Benjamin wrenched free, tears carving tracks in the dust on his cheeks. Freedom shouldn't taste like lies. He stormed down the trail, leaving Aiden amid the rattlesnakes and regret. Marla's damage control kicked into overdrive, the photo debunked as PPA stunt double mix-up, Riley confirming their spark in a planted quote. The Academy stayed mum, voters too starstruck to sway. But the rift with Benjamin gaped, their calls going to voicemail, texts unread. Aiden drowned in prep, speech tweaks with a coach who likened vulnerability to a well-timed vulnerability, fittings where tailors pinned his tux like a straitjacket. 2 days pre-Oscar, desperation drove him to Benjamin's door. The apartment was dim, boxes half-packed, Benjamin's sister's wedding in Texas looming, an escape hatch. "I'm going home," Benjamin said flatly, folding a shirt with mechanical precision. "Need space to think." Aiden's world tilted. "Don't. Please. The ceremony is your coronation." Benjamin's eyes, red-rimmed, held no malice, only exhaustion. "Go shine. I'll watch from afar." The door clicked shut, a guillotine's fall. Aiden drove the canyon's blind, tears blurring taillights, pulling over at the Hollywood sign to scream into the void. Dawn broke bloody, the letters looming like judgment. Hollywood. Rehearsal that day was hell. Standing ovations mocking his isolation. Presenters' banter a cruel echo of what he'd lost. Marla noticed, cornering him backstage. "Chin up, Tiger. Win this, and the world's yours." Without him, Aiden thought, but nodded. That night, alone in the Hills house, he penned a new speech ending, not with thanks, but truth. "To the man who taught me love's not a scene." Is the cut to black. He emailed it to no one, a digital dirge. Oscar Eve arrived sweltering, the Dolby a hive of hype. Aiden's glam squad descended. Haircut at Andy Lecomte, skin glowing from facialist Yumi Kimura, tux by Saint Laurent hugging his frame like a lover's regret. Marla hovered, martini in hand. "Front rows comped for your crew, pal. Thought it'd be a nice touch." Aiden's pulse stuttered. "He's coming," perked up when I called. Said something about supporting the team. Her wink was conspiratorial, oblivious. Hope surged, fragile as rice paper. Aiden texted, "Front row? See you there." The ellipsis danced. Then wouldn't miss it. Elation crashed over him like a wave. He arrived at the red carpet vortex early, Riley on arm for the optics, but his eyes scoured the bleachers. Benjamin emerged from the shadows, tux rented and rumpled, hair tamed but defiant curl escaping. Their nod across the frenzy was electric, a bridge mending. Inside, the theater thrummed, chandelier light refracting off jewels, air thick with perfume and plot. Benjamin slid into the front row. Aisle seat, his presence an anchor. Aiden, seated mid-aisle with nominees, felt the pull, fingers itching to bridge the gap. The ceremony unfolded in a blur. Musical numbers that dragged, tributes that tugged. Presenters cracked wise about streaming wars, eliciting polite chuckles. Aiden's category loomed, sandwiched between sound mixing and song. He fidgeted, palms slick, stealing glances at Benjamin, stoic, eyes locked forward, but his knee bounced, betraying the storm. And the Oscar goes to. Emma Stone's voice sliced the tension, envelope crinkling like fate's dry laugh. Aiden Harper, for echoes of the heart. Pandemonium erupted, standing ovation, whoops from the cast, Marla's squeal piercing. Aiden rose on numb legs, hugging co-stars, the climb to stage eternal. The statuette thrust into his hands was heavier than sin, gold cool against fevered skin. He approached the podium, spotlight blinding, 2,000 faces a sea of expectation. Heart thundering, he glanced down, Benjamin on his feet, clapping fierce, pride warring with pain in his gaze. This is for the broken ones, Aiden began, voice steady despite the quake. The vets who come home to silence, the lovers who fight in shadows. He faltered, the words he'd scripted dissolving. The hidden camera footage, Tessa's bomb, chose that instant to detonate, projected on jumbotrons by a hacker's whim, or perhaps a publicist's sabotage gone rogue. Grainy clips. Aiden and Benjamin in the trailer, lips locked, hands entangled, the kiss from the loading dock looped in merciless HD. Gasps rippled, flashes erupting like gunfire. Aiden froze, the Oscar slipping in his grip. Below, security swarmed Benjamin, hands yanking him from his seat. His cry of Aiden, a dagger through the din. The Dolby Theater imploded in that suspended second, the projected kiss looping like a curse on the massive screens flanking the stage. Benjamin's hand fisted in Aiden's hair, their bodies pressed urgent against the trailer's aluminum skin, rain-streaked and raw. The footage cut to the loading dock embrace. Then another stolen moment from the chateau's shadows, Tessa's watermark faint but damning in the corner. Whispers swelled to a roar, a tidal wave of shock crashing over the elite. Directors gaping, actresses clutching pearls, producers already calculating fallout in frantic texts. Aiden stood paralyzed at the podium, the Oscar's weight yanking at his arm like an anchor in a riptide. His speech notes fluttered to the floor, discarded confetti in the chaos. Aiden, you okay up there? Emma Stone's voice crackled over the mic, her smile faltering into concern. But the feed cut abruptly, tech scrambling backstage, the screens flickering to black amid boos and bewildered applause. Down front, Benjamin thrashed against the security goons, two burly ex-cops in ill-fitting tuxes hauling him toward the exit like discarded luggage. Let me go. Aiden, Aiden. His shout pierced the din. Raw and ragged, face contorted in a mix of fury and fear. Paparazzi in the wings surged forward, cameras blazing, immortalizing the drag. Benjamin's shoe scuffing the carpet, elbow jabbing a guard's ribs, eyes locked on Aiden with desperate plea. Aiden's world narrowed to that gaze, the theater's opulence dissolving into tunnel vision. He bolted from the stage mid-thanks, tuck's tails flapping like broken wings, vaulting the steps two at a time. Ben! The crowd parted in stunned ripples. Glenn close murmuring, "Oh God." DiCaprio on his feet. Phone out. Liv tweeting the meltdown. Security turned on Aiden now. A wall of meat shielding the aisle. But he shoved through, elbowing a lapel-mic'd presenter aside. Get off him, Aiden roared, lunging as a guard's arm hooked Benjamin's neck. Fists flew in a blur, Aiden's connecting with a jaw, Benjamin kneeing a groin, the scuffle a tabloid wet dream. Cameras captured it all. The golden boy brawling like a barfly, blood trickling from a split knuckle, his cry of "I love you," echoing as they tumbled into the lobby's marble expanse. Alarms wailed, velvet ropes snapping under the stampede of fleeing nominees and gawking guests. Marla materialized like a fury, screeching into her earpiece. Kill the feed, PR war room. Now! But the damage was viral, phones aloft. Live streams beaming the carnage to millions. Aiden out trending before the after-party invitations cleared tables. Benjamin wrenched free in the fray, spinning to Aiden, chests heaving. Close. The hurt etched deep, bruised cheek blooming purple. Tyascu, but his eyes burned with unyielding fire. You promised, he spat, voice hoarse over the sirens. No more lies. Aiden cupped his face, thumbs smearing the tear tracks. I know. God. Ben. A guard's hand clamped Aiden's shoulder, yanking him back. Paparazzi breached the barricade. Flashes strobe seizing the moment. Lovers' reunion or rupture, frozen in pixelated agony. Let him go, Benjamin lunged. But security swarmed, zip-tying his wrists with zip efficiency. This is assault. He's with me. Back off. Kid. A guard growled, radio crackling with orders. Extract the +1. Harper's team inbound. They frog-marched Benjamin toward a side exit, his struggles futile against the tide. Aiden twisted, tucks ripping at the seam. Marla, call them off. But his agent was a ghost in the melee, vanished to contain the PR apocalypse. The lobby doors slammed on Benjamin's final shout. Fight for us. Aid, leaving Aiden adrift in the aftershock. Nominees milled like stunned cattle, whispers slicing. Knew he was light in the loafers. Poor Ruiz. Grips don't get NDAs. A producer clapped Aiden's back. Oily sympathy. Rough break. Champ. We'll spin it. Spin it? Aiden's laugh was a bark. Hollow. He stormed the exit, bursting into the LA night. Cool February air slapping his fevered skin. The red carpet a war zone of yelling handlers and keening fans behind barricades. Limos idled, exhaust curling like cigarette smoke. But Aiden waved off his driver, sprinting down Highland Avenue's sidewalk, tuxedo shoes blistering his heels. His phone exploded. Text from Marla. Get in a car. Now. Statement drafting. Unknown numbers. Congrats on the win and the coming out. Slay King. TMZ alerts. Video. Oscar winner's shocking gay affair exposed live. He silenced it. Lungs burning. The Hollywood sign mocking from the hills. A black SUV screeched to a halt beside him. Marla's crisis chariot, her face ashen in the passenger seat. Aiden, darling, inside. We fix this. Fix what? He slammed his fist on the hood, Oscar clanging against metal. You let them drag him away like trash. Not me, the Academy's protocol. Uninvited +1s in scandals get bounced. She flung the door open, voice brooking no argument. You're trending worldwide. We craft the narrative. Aiden Harper bravely addresses rumors in heartfelt moment. He slid in, the leather cold against his sweat-damp shirt. The truth. Marla. That's the narrative. Her sigh was theatrical. Truth is flexible. Remember Colin Firth's closet phase? We buried it. You can too. No. Aiden's voice steel. Ben's not a phase. Call security. Get him released. The SUV peeled out, weaving toward the hills. Marla tapped her tablet, fingers flying. Done. But think, Aiden, this Ben guy's a nobody. One viral clip, and he's catnip for trolls. You're bankable. Protect your brand. My brand. Laughter bubbled. Bitter. 5 years of faking for billboards. No more. They pulled into his driveway, the modernist manse looming like a tomb. Marla followed him inside, heels clicking on slate floors, commandeering the living room for war council. Laptops bloomed, assistants dialing spin doctors. Aiden paced, dialing Benjamin voicemail. Again. Ben, I'm coming. I love you. Fight's not over. An hour ticked by in frantic limbo. Then, a knock sharp, insistent. Aiden yanked the door, and there stood Benjamin, disheveled but unbound, Marla's minion trailing with apologies. Released him at the precinct. Minor scuffle. No charges. Benjamin's eyes met Aiden's. The fire banked to embers. They grilled me like a suspect. How long? Intent to blackmail? Aiden pulled him inside. Door slamming on the paparazzi swarm outside. They collided in the foyer. Embrace crushing. Sobs muffled in shoulders. I'm sorry, Aiden choked. The speech. I was seconds from. From what? Owning it. Benjamin pulled back, searching his face. Or owning me? The room spun. Marla cleared her throat from the couch. Boys. Timing. Press is rabid. Out. Aiden snapped. The word a thunderclap. Marla's brows shot up, but she gathered her things, retreating with a call me at dawn. We pivot to empowerment arc. Alone. They sank to the floor, backs to the door. The Oscar discarded like a paperweight. Benjamin's head lolled on Aiden's shoulder. World knows now. Feels. Exposed. Aiden kissed his temple. Good. No more shadows. But dawn brought the deluge. Aiden's phone resumed its assault. Co-star texts, we love you. Man, rainbow flag high. Agent voicemails, franchises pulling back, damage control. His mother's call from Bakersfield, voice quavering. Son, the news. Is it true? We love you anyway. Benjamin fielded his own. Sister's worried FaceTime, Mijo. You okay? Texas praise. Union buddies memes. Grip love wins Oscar. They huddled in bed as sun crested, bodies entwined, whispering battle plans over coffee gone cold. Press conference? Benjamin suggested, tracing Aiden's jaw. You, me, the truth. Aiden nodded, resolve hardening. Today, but Marla stormed in at 8 a.m. Entourage in tow, publicist, lawyer, a stylist with concealer for Benjamin's shiner. Absolutely not. We leak a joint statement. Aiden and Ben are dear friends exploring a deeper connection. Grateful for support. Her eyes darted to Benjamin like he was a prop. Keep it vague. Rebrand as allies. Benjamin bristled. Allies? We're lovers. Lady. 5 years strong. Marla's smile was ice. Lovers tank poles. Allies sell merch. Aiden stood, towering. My life. My terms. Conference at noon. Or I walk. Oscar and all. Checkmate. Marla deflated, dialing ahead. By 11, the backyard patio, Ocotillo cacti framing the infinity pool, transformed into media pen. Mics clustered, cameras poised, a rainbow flag discreetly pinned to Aiden's shirt. Noon struck. Aiden and Benjamin emerged hand in hand, tuxes swapped for jeans and tees, casual armor. Flashes blinded. Reporters shouting, Aiden, is this a publicity stunt? Ben, did you leak the tape? Aiden raised a hand, voice steady. No stunts. This is us. Benjamin Ruiz, the man who's held me through every breakdown, celebrated every breakthrough. I hid him and our love for fear of losing everything. But tonight, I realized I'd already lost the only thing that mattered without him. Benjamin squeezed his hand, adding soft, love like ours doesn't hide. It shines. Thanks for seeing it. Questions pelted, but they fielded as a unit. Aiden deflecting career hits. We'll see what doors open. Benjamin grounding with humor. Grips fix lights. We fixed each other. The feed went viral anew. Aiden and Ben eclipsing the scandal. Allies emerging from woodwork. Ellen's tweet, proud of you both. Come dance. QWERTY op-eds hailing Hollywood's bravest night. Post-conference, they retreated inside, collapsing on the couch amid takeout burritos. That was, Benjamin trailed, awe in his grin. Terrifying, Aiden finished, pulling him close. But right, night fell, the city humming indifferent below. They made love slow and sure, reclaiming bodies in the quiet, the Oscar on the nightstand a silent witness. Sleep came tangled, dreams unburdened. But reckoning waited. Morning headlines, Marvel drops Harper, creative differences, Marla's email, franchise fallout, 50% confirmed. Indies circling. Aiden's inbox brimmed with offers, queer rom-coms, activist docs, but the sting lingered. Benjamin, scrolling union boards, landed a lead gaffer spot on a prestige HBO series. Our Phoenix Hour, he quipped, kissing Aiden's knuckles. Yet doubt whispered, was exposure liberation, or exile? The weeks post-Oscar blurred into a maelstrom of reinvention. LA's fickle sun casting long shadows over the wreckage and the rebirth. Aiden's phone became a battlefield. Rejections from studios cloaked in corporatees, not aligning with brand vision. Olive branches from indies hungry for authentic voices. Marla, demoted to advisor in the shakeup, brokered a sit-down with GLAAD, turning scandal into symposium. Panels on queer erasure in Hollywood. Aiden's face on Out magazine's cover. Shirtless and unapologetic. Benjamin beside him in a candid shot. Arms linked at a Joshua Tree sunrise. But glory's glitter chafed. Paparazzi camped Aiden's gates. Drones buzzing like mechanical hornets. Capturing grocery runs turned ambushes. Aiden, regrets on the coming out. Benjamin took to wearing shades indoors. His easy smile hardening at fan DMs veering from supportive to salacious. One night, over vegan tacos at a pop-up in Venice, a table of 20-somethings catcalled, "Hey, grips get grips. Want a trade?" Benjamin's fork clattered, appetite fleeing. Aiden's hand found his under the table. "Ignore the noise. Easy for you," Benjamin muttered, eyes on his plate. "You're the phoenix. I'm the ash they kick." The words landed like shrapnel. Back home, Aiden poured bourbon, Benjamin's vice, not his, and they aired grievances on the deck. City lights a distant aurora. "I dragged you into this," Aiden confessed, glass sweating in his grip. "Should have fought sooner." Benjamin leaned against the railing, wind tousling his hair. "Nah. We fought together. But this town, it chews the unseen." He turned, vulnerability cracking his armor. "Got an offer, gaffer on a film in Vancouver. 6 months. Aiden's gut twisted. "Go. It's your shot. And us." Benjamin's voice small, the boy from the border peeking through. Aiden pulled him into the circle of his arms. "We endure." Like always, Benjamin jetted north in April. The distance a new kind of ache, FaceTimes over craft services, care packages of Aiden's bad poetry and Texas hot sauce. Aiden threw himself into script reads. A queer western with Chaz Bono directing, a memoir adaptation about a closeted athlete. Additions hummed, callbacks trickling, but the town whispered Harper's poison now. Too political. Solace came in margins. Weekends in Vancouver, Aiden bunking in Benjamin's cramped hotel, making love to the patter of Pacific rain. They hiked Stanley Park seawall, hands clasped open now, tourists snapping pics with shy smiles. "Feels normal," Benjamin said one dusk, totem pole's sentinel behind them. Scary normal. Aiden kissed his knuckles. Best kind. But fissures widened. May brought Tessa Lang's Tell-All podcast. Unfiltered shadows. Where she spilled. Aiden begged me to lie for him. Broke my heart. Listeners lapped it. Backlash bubbling. Harper used her. Gaslighting king. Benjamin. Scrolling mid-shift. Fired off a tweet. Truth, we loved quiet while he played loud. No victims here. Love wins anyway. It went viral. 100K likes. But trolls swarmed. Rent boy speaks. Aiden flew up that night. Finding Benjamin in a pub near the set. Pint half empty. Knuckles white. Saw the pod. She's twisting. Doesn't matter. Benjamin cut in. Voice edged. It's us they doubt. He drained his glass. Missed the shadows sometimes. At least then, it was ours. Aiden's heart clenched. We can step back. Fade out. Benjamin's laugh was weary. Fade? Too late. Starboy. We're the plot twist. June tested them. Aiden's western greenlit. Shooting in New Mexico's Badlands, ironic echo of their Utah idol. Benjamin wrapped Vancouver early, joining as consulting gaffer. Their reunion a bonfire of reconnection. Trailers side by side. Nights under star-pricked skies. They rebuilt. Coyote howls serenading slow dances. Scripts read aloud by firelight. Aiden's head in Benjamin's lap as he confessed fears. What if this costs you everything? Benjamin's fingers stilled in his hair. Love's the only everything. Production hummed. Chemistry crackling on set. Aiden's cowboy. A stoic rancher grappling with forbidden desire for his foreman. A nod to them. Earning raves from dailies. Offset. They hosted barbecues for crew. Tamales steaming beside brisket. Benjamin's stories drawing laughs. Visibility bred allies. A cinematographer outing himself over beers. PA gifting pride pins. But July's heat wave brought the hammer. Marla called mid-rehearsal. Scorsese's out. Says the personal drama distracts. Aiden's agent jumped ship same week. Poached by a safer client. Additions dried. Whispers turning to walls. Benjamin, sensing the spiral, drove them to Taos Pueblo one sweltering afternoon. Adobe homes baking under relentless sun. Amid the blue corn vendors and kiva fireplaces, elders shared tales of resilience, surviving conquest, reclaiming stories. Your people hide, an artist told Aiden, weaving a bracelet of turquoise and silver. But roots run deep. Show them. That night, in a casita with earthen walls, Benjamin fastened the bracelet on Aiden's wrist. Wear it. Remember, Aiden pulled him down to the woven rug.